That's a little something to break the monotony of all that hardcore dance that has gotten to be a little bit out of control. It's cool to dance, but what about a groove that soothes and moves romance? Give me a soft, subtle mix, and if it ain't broke, then don't try to fix it. And think of the summers of the
Anybody remember this from back in the day? Jazzy Jeff, DJ Jazzy Jeff. Anyway, what up, everyone? It's 6:32. It is June 13th. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. This is the 6:30 Club. Yes, yes, yes. It is, like I said, June 13th, and it's summertime. So hopefully you're enjoying yourself. Hopefully you're not fighting this market. Hopefully you've been looking for setups, not for recessions or tops, or listening to those on TV getting louder and wronger. You know, as traders, you have to have multiple plans, and if one doesn't work, you move on to the next. You don't need to be the smartest one in the room or be perceived to be to make money. You just need to follow your set of rules and your process and put it together. And then if you do so, you can make a lot of money. Anyway, let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. What up, what up? Who do we got? I'm sure we got MLD in the house. Probably got It's in the house. Who else we got? We got South End in the house. What up, Tim? What up, Coach? What's up, Nebraska? What up, Connecticut? Yeah, you just need to outrun the smartest person behind you, right? They say you don't have to be the fastest, you just can't be the slowest. What up, Worcester? What up, Brooklyn? What up, Canada? How you doing? How you doing? All right, guys, so today we have CPI day, and tomorrow we have the FOMC, and leading into it, the SPYs, the S&P, we're all at weekly and monthly highs with a lot to like, a lot to have navigated and massaged. That's what we do as traders. We try and look for setups and stay with them as long as we can. You know, hopefully there's no misdirection and traps. And I was just talking to my friend Petey. There really hasn't been that much, you know, misdirection and traps. Like something that should be a long, sometimes even pleasantly surprises you even more. You know, we've been trending. You've been able to buy a dip. You've been able to play things to, you know, to get above a level and continue like yesterday. And no real surprises, except for maybe Apple today on the downgrade. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, if you look here at the chart of the S&P cash, I remember this weekend, you know, or what was it? I think on Friday, I'm like, what does this chart look like? You know, when it was like this, when there was none of that. It was just a bull. It was just a bull flag, right? It was sideways channel, broke above, took out 4,200, bull flag. I'm like, what does that look like? A bull flag continuation pattern? And then all of a sudden, you know, 4,300 to 4,339. And, you know, how long were we watching this 4,200 area? 4,218, 4,195, 4,212. Got above it, and now all of a sudden we're 130 handles higher. You know how much money you can make with 130 handles if you're looking for setups and you're looking at chart patterns and you're playing your pivots and you're using your cheer system? Yes, a decent amount. So now what? Well, we'll see what happens today at 8:30. You do have the what's it called? The CPI. I think estimates are 4.2%. So we'll see what the headline is, and then we'll see, more importantly, the nuts and bolts of it. There will probably be a little erratic volatility. So know what you own heading into it. If you've been holding swing trades, then, you know, and you're really in the money, maybe you took some off. If you have the wherewithal to hold things through a binary event, I've been doing this for a while already. So, you know, I've been also holding positions probably since right here. You know, this is when a lot of people are like, oh, when did the bull market start, Red Dog? You know, everybody's talking about 20% off the lows. Now's the time to get involved. I'm like, no. I'm like, you know, we've been doing this 6:30 Club every day since the pandemic. I've been in probably 5 to 12 longs pretty much since like May 16th. Okay, this is when, you know, this is when actually the bull market started. March 29th, when we broke above this wedge, got above the 200-day, went from, you know, here all the way up, and then this is when it got re-energized. Sometimes you have to go through corrective phases and they get re-energized, and now we just went from May 17th to June 13th into the CPI and FOMC, so we'll have to see. You know, right now the SPYs are up 50 cents, a little off the highs, 430, 433. So use 433.88. Can we stay above it? Okay, or does some strength get sold and then do the retrace down a little bit, the 8 days down there? You know, you have to write down things you know. And, you know, we looked yesterday at what the weekly chart looks like. and the weekly chart, which we've been showing from time to time, finally took out 431.73, which was the high from last August. Okay, and this is when you had your last pivot to buy right around 420. If you bought 420, we're at 434. Congratulations. I've been putting on I've been buying SPY calls into dips, which have been really nice. But anyway, so this is like 448-ish. I don't know if we get there in a straight line, but this is pretty much your next. This was a low from here. This was a high from here. So here's kind of an air pocket. So anyway, you could actually go like this now a little bit. This low here is what? This is 425.82. So now this turns into some support, and we're trending, and it's getting hot. There are people chasing. There are people short. There's a lot going on right now, and hopefully you've been waking up every day, just excited to go to work. I know I've been waking up every day excited. I've been carrying positions, massaging. I think out of the last maybe I don't know how many trading days, but just say if there's been 30 trading days, I think I've made money 28 out of 30 of them very consistently, which has been good. So hopefully if you've been watching, you've been making money too, because we've been pretty much on top of a lot of things. Anyway, so you go back to the daily chart and see where we're at. Every week there's been a different flavor, to go with, right? Qs have been absolutely incredible, right? Here was the 334. That was the August high. So we've been above the August high that the SPYs just got to since May 25th. So it's about 3 weeks the Qs have been trending above the prior high, while the SPYs have been playing catch up to the Qs, and the Qs have been leading the way. And although every now and then you've had a little bit of a leg sweep, okay, right? This was a little bit of a leg sweep. This was a way to reduce risk when it got below this, this little pivot support area. But then it repaired just like that, and then here we are. So we'll see how that goes. If you remember, about 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I think you guys can play the diamonds for catch up, and that was right here. We were buying the diamond calls, for a move back to 342-ish, which would just be, prior resistance. That if it can get above it, all of a sudden you have a channel here, right? 327 to 342, 13, 15 points. That takes us to almost like 357 if you want to do a measured move. And that's just getting out of the channel, not just getting up to resistance. So there's been so much to like technically. We talked about the XBI, which I just sold yesterday. People are like, why are you selling the XBI? I'm like, well, I was buying it in here. I wanted it to get above 85.50 and figured, hey, maybe there's a nice move back to the 89 area, and that happened. So I'm trying to take some trades too. I don't want to get caught if we get some kind of volatility bout, and all of a sudden, they take away 3 or 4 days of my hard work in trading, with a leg sweep. And you can't play for a leg sweep, but you also don't want to get caught in one as things extend. The oscillator actually got up to plus 38 yesterday, which plus 40 is overbought. So you need to be a little careful when you're plus 38. Anyway, that was good. Someone's like, Red Dog, what's your biggest now indice long? I'm long a lot of IWM calls. Okay. I do think that the IWM, which I said yesterday on Twitter, could work its way back towards 192 to 199. So far, so good. We're buying it in here, and now you have a nice little bull flag type pattern here. So, if you want to look up what a bull flag is, a bull flag usually is a consolidation after a move going sideways. So if the market wants to continue to the upside, if it takes out this spot, chances are you could see 192 to 199, which would be a nice move. So I'm just trying to rotate through different sectors. I was long the Qs a lot of the time, and then I started to play the SPYs for catch up, and then I played some diamonds, and now I feel like I could be in the IWM besides, stocks. I'm in a lot of stocks also. I've been in Tesla for pretty much 3 weeks. I've been in Apple since last week. We'll deal with this downgrade today. Google was my focus, about 20 points ago, and Amazon. So there's been lots of ways to focus on things. Rather getting it. So someone asked me about Netflix. I haven't been that great with Netflix, to be honest. You can't kiss all the babies, right? I do remember right here, I put together a strategy to buy Netflix on this Red Dog reversal right here. red dog. There's a red dog reversal here, and then right into this, descending trend line. And some of the guys on the alpha team have been trading this very well to the upside. And now it's getting a little long in the tooth. I just would be a little careful. I do know that they are cracking down on password sharing. A lot of my friends who actually, do that or forgot that they did that got kicked off, so they had to, rejoin. So at this point, it's been a really nice trend. Hey, what a quinky dink above the 8-day moving average. So what's it doing today? It's up 263. I think I would trim today. I would not be starting a fresh position in Netflix today. At this point, it's hard to start a fresh position in anything considering how far we've come. Even Oracle. Wow, what a friggin' move in Oracle. This has been, last time we were thinking about a swing trade was at 95. It gave you a gap and go prior to today's gap and go. So with that being said, I would think today is a better sell than buying Oracle. It's a 121. This high here was what? 117. So look where it's opening. So I would not be buying Oracle on today's open. You missed it, but just realize that things can have that type of move. And if you've been shorting it, you better check your process because you do not follow technicals. You're probably listening to some of those, those big bears out there. So anyway, maybe today it opens up and comes in, but look at that kind of move. Hard to be bearish, when the stock's fallen and tracking the 8-day for so long. But anyway, so that's Oracle. So some people are like, what do I think about AMD today? So AMD, has been awesome. This is when we came up with another big strategy to buy AMD at 91.60, right there. Took back all the moving averages. Pretty much AMD has been above the 8-day moving average, or just say even the 8 and 21, which is, some use the 8, some use the 21, literally since 91 for 40 points. Anyway, today they have their analyst day. We'll see what it goes on. Word is that they're going to be announcing a big collaboration for their AI chip with what could be a Google or a Microsoft or someone. I don't know if it's priced in. It might be. I am long some options. If it gets like a Microsoft or someone and it pushes through, chances are you can get a squeeze above this, 130.48, 130.79, and then we'll see. If you look at the weekly chart, remember this head and shoulders top? AMD was awesome. AMD gave us, was a leading indicator to the downside, and then it became a leading indicator to the upside. So if it were to get above and stay above this spot, there is room here. Just be careful. It could push through, squeeze some shorts, get some people in, and then fail. I don't know. I'm only playing it for, a quick type trade. So we'll see what happens there. But, it definitely will dictate sentiment. But look where that old high is, and look what Nvidia did when it took that out. That was 346. This went as high as 419. By the way, what an awesome stock this has been. This gave us clues starting in 2022 that tech was going to come under pressure with the red dog reversal sell. Then it broke below that prior low all the way down. Right here around 178, it went back above the 8-day moving average. Right here around this even 151. That's when we put that in there. And it's been above the 8-day. I don't care about price to sales. I don't care about PEs. I care about what kind of price action do you have. And this had a move from literally 175-ish. It's been above the 8-day the entire time. Here, below. Here, above. So how do you want to do it? Anyway, here we have an upper level consolidation. I don't know how much more room there is to the upside. We shall see. You could use it as a barometer. If you look at the daily chart of Nvidia, it's got a nice gap that it never filled, 366, came in, tested 373, held that. And now question is, does it get above, what was this? This is 397. If it gets above and stays above 397, maybe there's momentum to get back to 405 and 419. It's been going sideways for a while, and it's got the best AI chip out there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with AMD today if it plays some catch up. So I would be watching AMD for some tech sentiment. Anyway, Apple's been awesome. Apple, I am still in Apple. I'm in a little less. I bought back Apple when it tested the 8-day, and it went as high as 183.89. I think UBS came out with a note saying the risk reward up here isn't great. The risk reward up here isn't great really for much. You know, if you bought Apple versus the post-earnings gap around 170, that was nice risk reward. If you bought Apple when it took out this 152 area, when it got above the moving averages and cleared this, bull type flag, cup and handle pattern, this is when I put it on as a power play. So now the question is, how much more could these things trend? So with Apple down 158, maybe I'll add to it. If it can't go green, I might say, hey, you know what, let me just figure it out for a little bit. Same thing with Tesla. Tesla's been awesome. Every day now you got to hear about how Tesla's been up 12 days in a row, which is true. It's been awesome. Like, it's been absolutely awesome. The time, though, to get really huge in Tesla was here, or not huge, but maybe you bought the stock like I did. Maybe you bought a call spread, which is what the Alpha team did. And then we did another one here. Remember when I can kiss this mini trend line? I said this here in the 630 club. I'm like, it might pause into this mini trend line, but chances are there's room to at least 217. Then at 217, I'm like, there's room probably to 250. And now here we are. So it wouldn't be so bad if it held here for a day or two and then took that out to fill this gap, but we'll see. It's been awesome. And then some people are like, oh my God, look at the animal spirits in Tesla. I'm like, okay, it's had a really nice move. But if you look at the weekly chart, the stock was 414, right? 414. So this is where it is now. Okay. So yes, if you bought it using my moving averages rules, and if you're an active trader, you made really good money. This was that spot at 190. Okay. If you happen to have chased Tesla, just say anywhere in 2021 or even 2022 or even here, you're not even back to where you were. So it's all what side are you gonna, what side of your mouth are you gonna talk from? It's funny today, some people send me the Mike Wilson note, how now he's like, oh, now tactically we can go higher, but this will be the perfect bookend to a bear market rally by being up 20%, suck everyone in, and then fail. Okay, maybe that happens, and I'll be on alert, but again, the 5 weeks of awesome stock action is what just made my year. Listen, before the pandemic, before we had literally, 5x our average year, usually your year as a trader is built in 3 of 9 months. At least I know for me, there's 3 months of awesome action throughout the course of the year, and that's when you have to hit it. That's when you have to have exposure. That's when you have to make your money. And then the other 9 months, you have to practice your patience. You have to practice your discipline. You can't get frustrated. You can't give money back. You just try and make money, to tack on your year. But it's the 3 sequences, which is what I call this. And this was an unbelievable sequence where you want to really kill it. And now you can't really kill it here because this was your time to kill it. Now it's like, how much more could it go? So anyway, so that's what I've learned throughout the year. So I'm just talking about it. So, this is right here. This is the 257 to 262 gap fill. I'm kind of hoping it continues to pause here, let the 8-day catch up. So next time it goes through 252.42, I could buy it with authority. I could probably add to it here, but not with authority considering, just how extended it is. Anyway, so some of you guys like, Red Dog, you've been really good rotating. Like you even came up with Boeing. Yes, and Boeing is a power play. Boeing, we came up with Boeing right in here. And now, it pushed through this 220. And it seems like the measured move from just say like a 195 to 220 is 15 points. So it can continue. So there are other things out there too that are, that are working besides, the Google that work, the Amazon that work, the Apple that work. Tesla's been working. Has Shopify gotten its like? I bought options in Shop because I was trading it like crap. I was buying Shop in here. I think I bought Shop in here and got stopped out. And then I was long it again, and then that hurt. And then finally in here, I'm like, let me just buy some options. So I'm not watching it and getting too big. And I bought the options, and the options made actually really good money yesterday, and I still have some. Shop right now, where is it? It's up 32 cents at 65.33. Had a big candle yesterday. If it gets above this area, it looks like it can go higher, like a lot of things. So sometimes as a trader, you have to realize, your own faults. And I know for me, sometimes I get too big, and if it's not ready today, I get too big, I get stopped down, and I get spun around. So I'm like, sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to buy some options. So I bought some options, and I have till Friday. So if we extend today, I'll take some off, and then I'll let some, some ride. But Shop's been great. Shop was reborn earlier down here, but look at this post earnings gap. my friend Stewie would call it what? Your PEG, pro earnings gap. If it holds, usually there's power to continue. So we'll see what SHOP does there. I am long some SHOP options. I trimmed a little bit yesterday, but I'm still in over half. I bought Disney yesterday. Yeah. Some guys are like, why'd you buy Disney? I'm like, you know what? They're coming after some down names, and maybe it could fill this gap towards 96.50. This does have a little bit of a inverted head and shoulders pattern look. What's that? That's when you have a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. It's just breaking above this. Perhaps and maybe it wants to fill this gap towards 96. So I was like, hey, you know what? I could do a trade in Disney. It's not like I'm friggin' in love with Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or this or that or even Disney Plus, but it's been battered and bruised, and I haven't been caught, so I figured I'll try it, and as long as it holds this area, I'll try and stay with it and see, if there's a move to hold. Sometimes, again, you got to rotate. Like if the Dow plays catch up, that's why I went to Boeing, because I'm like, oh, if the Dow's going to play catch up, let me look at Boeing, or some of these other things. So that's how you connect the dots as a trader. You don't look at the TV set. You don't try and go with the billionaires. The billionaires will all tell you the market's very risky. They give you all the smart reasons why not to be in the market. But meanwhile, they're all fully invested. Oh, but it's too risky for you. That's why I'm always like, got to know your time frame, guys. Even if you have to know how old are you. Like I'm 50 years old. I have a 401k. I'll be putting money in that for the next 15 years. My son is in 8th grade. He's got a 529. I threw in a 10 spot because I had to play catch up extra besides going from 500 a month to 750 because I was thinking, hey, we've been in this 2-year range as the market normalizes, meaning rates that were so low for so long had to come back towards 5%. And now we have to see, can we absorb that, which we've been absorbing that. And we're probably just a 1 to 2% GDP economy with hopefully rates that could stay at 4.5%. So some savers can make money and you can make some money in the market and the normalization process. So in Europe, people were paying money to put their money in the bank. How long could you do that for? So this process hopefully is on the way to being normal. And then the Fed could keep things here for how, we'll figure it out. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about the macro because I'm not a really good macro guy. All I know is I'm 50 years old. I have a 401k. I have a 529 for my son. I have a blood on the street account that's in a fixed rider that we're not putting the blood on the street account to work when you're 20% off lows. I did that like 6 times in the last 3 years. And then I have my active account, my swing account, a box account, and an options account, which is how I get paid quarterly. And this quarter is going to be a nice one. And I will admit, last quarter, I didn't get a paycheck. I was flattish. So I'm very happy that we have this sequence, moving it along and knowing all my different time frames. And if you could really educate yourself and have all your time frames working, you could be putting away for the long term, forever. Besides making your cash flow, just have to figure it out. And you're not going to figure it out by sitting on your ass, trying to listen to everyone, taking some accountability, look in the mirror, and figure out what you need to do to put your family in the right position to have fun and make progress. You don't have to be perfect to make progress. Just progress is what creates happiness, in my opinion, because that means you're learning. And if you're not winning, you're learning. Otherwise, you're giving up, and that's what we don't do here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see what happens at 8:30. The CPI